Welcome back to the 2012 Kartmasters for the final race of the day. It's the 8 to 12-year-olds in the Honda Cadets. They've got less power than their two-stroke compatriots, which means accuracy is key. They always provide some exciting racing, so let's get straight over to Ben.
Thank you very much, Nat. And yet again, a full, fantastic grid of Honda Cadets. Really the revelation of the Kartmasters in the last few years. And Sandy Mitchell, the zero plate on the front row of the grid. Look at that, a full grid of karts. Great to see Luke Wooder, the number 3 on row 3 of the grid. Watch out for him. He is certainly one of the more experienced drivers here. And look at the kart, fantastic sight as they all squabble for position into the first turn. Samuel Pooley is our onboard cameraman, the 26 kart, and everyone seemingly has got through the first corner pretty cleanly at the moment. Sandy Mitchell is the man who is leading as the 22 kart of Rory Hudson goes a little bit wide there. And it's Ethan Andrews who sits behind in the 14 machine. As we've seen with all the other cadet races throughout the two programs, it is all about the final lap, working together to make a break and then working for yourself on that final lap. Morgan Porter is in third position in the 52 kart as Ethan Andrews runs a little bit wide but doesn't lose any momentum on our leader Sandy Mitchell, who is racing in the colours of Gerard from Project One. A supporter of the Honda Cadets from years gone by. Evolution Racing is Ethan Andrews' team. And that is Connor Grady in the 25 kart trying to get involved as well in this front battle, which has now become 5 karts. A position lost then for Grady as a position gained for Porter, who goes up to second spot. Number 3, Luke Wooder, was the man who's moved up into 4th position, and now an attack for the lead of the race. Porter moves into 1st, Ethan Andrews into 2nd, and Sandy Mitchell into 3rd. Looks over his shoulder just to see where the rest of the karts are, and he'll see that it's Luke Wooder who's next, and it's a big old queue of karts now behind him. Also involved is the 53 kart of Charlie Bennett. Although Bennett at the moment just a fraction off the pace of our front 5 train. And they all can work together to pull away from each other. 15 lap race, it's a long lap for a cadet kart, especially the Hondas, who are slightly slower in comparison to their two-stroke teammates. And look how the train just follows through past Morgan Porter, who easily loses a lot of time and pace as Samuel Pooley now goes under the tunnel. A little bit latching on to the 17 kart of Gordon Much. Oh, and runs wide, and all very, very wide. That was messy, Samuel. To the front of the field again, though. We have a breakaway group. And part of that breakaway group is Luke Wooder. And our O-plate pole position man, Sandy Mitchell, getting really swamped. Wooder and Ethan Andrews have made the breakaway. Kieran Jewis in the 11 machine, who's now in 3rd position ahead of Connor Grady. And our O-plate is down yet another spot. So Sandy Mitchell is struggling at the mid part of this race, with Morgan Porter also falling down through the field with him. Although now look at the pace through that last turn. Great bit of driving from Sandy Mitchell. Keep that momentum up. As soon as it's broken by being passed, of course, it's very hard to get it back. But Mitchell seemingly working with these other two to try and get in contention for the lead of the race again. It's only 2 karts at the front, and being left out to dry there was Connor Grady, the 25 kart, on the outside line. He's dropped 3 or 4 positions. Samuel Pulley making up some spots now after running wide earlier on. Jamie Rogers, the man he's passing, and I think a little bit of contact as they went to the braking zone for hairpin 1, but Pulley is up 1. Ethan Andrews leading the race now, ahead of Luke Wooder and ahead of Kieran Jewis, and then just a small gap now to Sandy Mitchell, who for a moment had lost the toe, but has worked very, very hard with the 11 kart of Kieran Jewis to get back in contention. And once again, halfway through this race, we have got 4 for the lead. I don't know who Sandy Mitchell was pointing at, but he's not getting help from anyone. He's not being pushed along. There's no one behind him. A tighter line from Luke Wooder gets him the lead of the race. And Jewis follows through. Andrews drops down to 3rd position, but does have a better line over the crossover and down the hill. And now Jewis into the lead past Wooder. Following through comes Andrews. And Sandy Mitchell now back in contention. Project 1. Out of hairpin 2, 4 for the lead. And a small gap then to Morgan Porter in the 52 kart. As we've said, it's all about the final 2 laps. He's in. All of these guys are in it to win it, and the next group are there to pick up the pieces, because just a little bit of speed compromise, as we saw in the Coma Cadets, and anyone can sweep up the victory. Conor Grady's still in that second group with Charlie Bennett, and Grady has a quick look but decides against it. Bennett will benefit from that. Bennett goes to the inside but just can't get the overlap, and eventually Grady makes the pass. They both go wide, and 1 position gained then for Charlie Bennett. Grady running wide again. Bennett to the inside, gets a bit of a helping hand from Morgan. And all of a sudden, the 17 machine is there too. Gordon Much. There's a bit of contact. Much was the man that Pooley was chasing before he fell off, our onboard cameraman. And the 58 kart is Matthew Hayden. So they've worked together very well. And look at that, we've suddenly got a big queue the second half of the race. Charlie Lamb, the 55 kart's in there as well, as is the 88 of Miles Apps. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 karts, all potentially picking up 5th position. There are our front 4 though, and they are working together and doing a good job at keeping away from the chasing pack. Wooder back into the lead. Ethan Andrews holding on to that inside line, but he will lose the position to Kieran Jewis. And at the moment, Sandy Mitchell at the back of the field, but probably the place that you want to be, because he can pick his chance when he needs to pass. He's got the pace, he's staying with them, and all he needs to do is just work out when the best chance is to move and make his mark on this race. That is how he would have won that O-plate. These drivers aren't just driving flat out in their little cadet karts at the limit of adhesion. They're also really thinking about how best to approach this race. And we saw a mistake from the Fusion guys in the Coma Cadet race earlier on in the programme. And there may be some lessons learned from that for these Honda boys. Right, 2 laps left. Wooder and Jewis. Then a small gap to Andrews, and then a small gap to Sandy Mitchell, who runs very deep into the spoon curve as Jewis takes the lead of the race from Wooder. It could be anyone's. Any needs to defend as yet? He's moving across, but Luke Wooder's going to have the overlap and going to go back into the lead of the race. Andrews going to follow through, as does Mitchell. And Jewis now at the back of the train. Through hairpin 2, no changes. Quick look over the shoulder from Luke Wooder, whose dad Dave raced for many, many years in Rotax Max. Great to have a little Wooder. But who is it going to be to win this race? Through the final 2 sections, they'll pick up the last lap board as they come across the start-finishing line. And I tell you, if it's anything like the cadets, all hell is going to break loose. Over the start and finishing line they go. Here we go then. Wooder goes super, super defensive into the first turn. He's got Andrews right behind him. Sandy Mitchell ready to sweep up for the pieces. cuts a little bit to the inside. He's going to have the overlap just about, and Mitchell going to go into second position, and Andrews has been bundled out because Jewish has got through as well. Jewish moves up into second position. That's going to allow Luke Wooder some serious breathing space. He looks over his shoulder and sees there's no one to attack, at least to the first hairpin, as Andrews goes down the inside of Jewish then for second. They swap positions. They're too busy fighting with each other to actually fight for the lead of the race, as Sandy Mitchell moves up to second after that small bit of contact. Luke Wooder is having an easy run of things to the flag here. They're all too busy fighting over second. There are no prizes really for second position. GP plate is what you want on the front of your car next year, and that is what they're fighting for. And that looks like what Luke Wooder is going to get, because he has no challengers through the final few sections of this PF International circuit. He looks over his shoulder and there is nobody there. Luke Wooder is your champion in Honda Cadet. Here he comes to start and finishing line. A little bit of disgruntlement further back, but Luke Wooder wins from Kieran Jewis in second, and I think it was Sandy Mitchell who did pick up third position in the end. A fantastic race, as you'd expect from the cadets, and Ethan Andrews missing out in fourth position. Bennett, Hayden, Munro, Grady, Much and Porter round out your top 10.
Yeah, it was tough, but I was struggling to hang on with the top three, but so third's really happy, so I'm really happy with the result. But a wee bit disappointed as well because I started on pole, but overall it was good.
It was really hard. I was a bit disappointed because we got a 10-second penalty from the pre-final, but I'm really happy to come second.
I feel really good. It's turned out to be very good this weekend. The Project 1 kart was on rails and I'm really happy with that.
Well, with hundreds of competitors here at the 2012 Kartmasters, we've seen some excellent action-packed karting. And of course, we've got 8 very happy GB plate winners. It's been a fantastic weekend. I hope you've enjoyed it. Join us again soon.
Yes!